It's day 7. This day, which was the Thursday, we went to Universal Studios, which was surprisingly easy to get to because we only had to catch like 2 trains. We basically caught a train from our hotel in Kashibi to Osaka station, where we caught another train, and because it's all JR line, and we did look it up in advance just to make sure. But it was all JR line, so we just got to catch the train straight there, which was very, very easy. We'd already booked our tickets in advance. I think there was so there's a local train that goes to Universal City Sakurajima. And so we had gotten there just before 10 a.m. Beautiful day. Like, this is the kind of day where, again, no clouds in the sky, so we put on our sunscreen, shorts, t-shirt, whatever, went there. I was feeling really not great since the day before. I was having some digestive issues. Turns out all I really needed to do was just go to a chemist and buy like 1 tablet and I would have been fine. But I didn't do that because I'm stupid. So highly suggest that you, if you ever feel sick in any kind of way, try to fix it, but I was still okay enough. We went to Universal Studios, and again, it'll all be copyrighted audio, so I can't use any of the audio in the film, in the video. But we went there, you had your big Universal giant globe. They had the town that you go through when you get off the station as well, their city, street, whatever they call it. Which is good. The trains were pretty packed because, again, a lot of people go to Universal. Both Helene and I have been there before. We knew things that we didn't want to go on. We knew things that we did want to go on. There was obviously the new Mario World, so that was the big highlight that we wanted to see. But we walked around the specialty area, all the old Hollywood stuff, through the stores. I did my best to try to find stuff that was Halloween themed in terms of for purchase, because we're there during Halloween season. I want something that's Halloween themed, and outside of getting a Gengar plushie because they had a Pokemon collab which was Pikachu and Gengar, and Gengar is my favorite ghost type Pokemon, so that worked well enough. There wasn't much else that was really Universal based for horror, at least not to my knowledge. At least like Disneyland and Disney Sea had the Mickey Mouse, Jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and a bunch of other stuff like that. But I can't say that there was a lot. I did buy a Boo, which was a light-up Boo. That was a cute little thing to get. There was a mystery box that we got as well, just because we were there at the Nintendo part. But I didn't spend too much outside of on food. So, I don't know, nothing's coming to mind of stuff that I bought. But, there was some nice stuff there. They had, of course, their Hollywood Walk of Fame part, so I saw the Shirley MacLaine tile. There was the characters dressed up as the characters from Wicked, because they had that occasionally. You had your Universal Monsters rock and roll show at their mock-up theater, which had different times for when you could go, so that was great to go to as well. We went there later in the day, and it was all in Japanese. It was Beetlejuice hosting the show. It was really strange. You had Dracula, Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, who took off her iconic costume and put on one that was obviously easier to kind of walk around in, because I imagine having a long dress and then having a long head of hair is not easy to dance in, so they obviously, once she went through, she went behind the stage, got quickly dressed, and then came back out looking different. There was a Wolfman as well. Frankenstein could not play the guitar for the life of him. He clearly was just fake strumming it to music. It was basically just they talk for a bit and then they play musical numbers. Apparently it's some kind of a love story. I don't know. It was a big crowd, so that was nice. They pack out the cinema as much as possible, which was smart. We got good seats from a good angle, so that was also good. I filmed some stuff on my phone, because I guess you could just do that as long as the flash wasn't on. They were like, oh, no flash photography, but I guess you can still film it. People were doing that. Once they started playing songs that were like from Kiss and whatever, I was like, oh, this is just like a jukebox musical. I'm going to film some stuff. Dracula had a Livin' the Vida Loca number, which was crazy. But it was still nice. We went to the Elmo land where they had Elmo and Hello Kitty and Snoopy and whatnot, which was fun. They had the Elmo characters come out in costumes as well. They were all dressed up like as wizards and witches and whatnot, which was cute. They had the Snoopy characters, the Peanuts characters dressed up as well. Charlie Brown was in a Frankenstein costume. You had Sally dressed up as the Bride of Frankenstein. and Lucy. I think Lucy's the blonde hair one, isn't she? Because she was there too, dressed up as a different character. I don't think I got a photo of her. I definitely didn't get any videos of her, but I got the Bride of Frankenstein, Sally. Let me just double check that. Peanuts, Sally. Oh no, Sally is the blonde one. So it must have been Lucy then, because Sally was definitely there. It was Lucy Lucy was dressed up as the Bride of Frankenstein. I don't remember what Sally was. I think Sally was just a vampire. Yeah, but Lucy was the one we got the photos with, because that was cool. I like the Bride of Frankenstein. They had a band that played a couple of songs there. They had a couple different bands in different areas, which was cool. It's enough lively environmental stuff. We went on one of the rides initially, which was, there was a ride that goes forward and does go backwards at the same time. We went on that one, the one that went forward. Because it was a high velocity kind of ride, it took me out for most of the day. Like, I was completely knocked out. Like, not unconscious, but just felt awful after that. To put it simply, the Universal Day was not an easy day for me. As much as I still enjoyed going there and enjoyed the rides, especially the Halloween-themed rides, it was not easy to just manage it after we went on that ride, so I didn't go on any more, like, intense rides after that, at least ones that were roller coasters, basically, which they only had a couple, so that was fine. But yeah, so we walked around the stores, found some stuff that we eventually bought later on in the day, went on that high velocity ride, went to the Hello Kitty part, Snoopy and Elmo and Sesame Street area, whatever. Completely avoided the Halloween and Minions areas, because we just didn't really care to go there. And I know Helene wanted to go to the Minions one, but she's been there before, and I wanted to avoid it because I don't want to go to the Minions place. Harry Potter we just didn't get around to, because who gives a shit? We've been there before. It's not that interesting anymore. However, we did go to a Minions-themed restaurant where Helene bought some lunch, which was nice. I had a hot dog for myself earlier in the San Francisco area, I think it was, either that or Old New York, because again, so many themed areas in Universal. Helene went on the Flying Dinosaur, which I got footage of her actually going on it, which was insane. That's the big Jurassic Park ride that even both her and my brother Noah claim is the best roller coaster ride they've been on, because you're sitting down on, it's not sitting on seats, you're holding on for like dear life as you fly around and go in circles and stuff. It is nuts. It's very good for visuals for filming, because there's a lot of filming angles you could go for. I mostly went for the one where I could zoom in on Helene where she was going up on the ride, because I wanted to make sure that I actually caught footage of her doing it, and I had to wait about 10 minutes for her to go onto the ride, because again, we had the express passes and whatnot, and because she was going on as an express single, it was a lot easier, because going on for singles was a lot easier for people. I know that when my older brother went, he went on a couple rides by himself, and he went on like that because he didn't have the stress. Same as my younger brother when he went. But it was great. Going to the Jurassic Park area was fun. I recreated a photo that I had taken a couple years ago in front of the caution: if you find a dinosaur, do not run, avoid showing food, and contact two park rangers. That is definitely, don't run, avoid showing food, and contact. That's not written properly. It's so grammatically incorrect. It should say contact the park rangers. Anyway, I only noticed that looking at this photo now, this time around. But we went on the Jurassic Park ride, which was very splash heavy. That was quite nuts, because we had to bring our raincoats. We had our bags with us as well, which was a bad idea. Go to the lockers, put your stuff in the lockers. But it worked out in the end. We got heavily splashed with water, but we had our stuff protected. But we were soaked. We brought our raincoats, which helped. A bit earlier in the day, we had gone to there was two mazes. There was a Chucky maze and a zombie maze. We went to the Chucky maze where they were all dressed up like Chucky characters, like Chucky and Glenn and Tiffany. They had all the dialogue was from the movies and stuff, or at least was voiced by Brad Dourif, which was cool. So it was all in English. And that was just one where you just walk around different sections and you have them coming out at you, pretending to stab you or whatnot, which was really fun. As someone who loves the Chucky films, it was just great to see those characters just human-sized, which was a bit freaky. But it was great. They had a good mutant creature there as well, which was fun. I don't know what the story was. We just went through it all and just had fun. Couldn't take any pictures or photos or videos or whatever, but it worked out. It was just fun to experience it. They didn't have much in terms of shopping wise. They had some Chucky themed stuff, but most of it was like t-shirts or keychains that were like lenticular, like they changed from Chucky to an evil looking Chucky, and I just didn't really care to buy them. The Jurassic Park section, like I mentioned, was really fun. Helene went on her ride. We both went on the Jurassic Park ride. We went on the Jaws ride as well. That one I hadn't been on before, and I wish I had gone on that when I went with Dad, but we went on it this time, and they had animatronic sharks coming out at you, which was great. The woman who was driving the boat was very theatrical. That's what they do. They make it seem like you're actually in an adventure. We sat on the left-hand side, which was great because Helene was right next to the water where the sharks came out. But there was enough stuff on both sides, but I think we'll be better on the left-hand side because that's where the sharks blow up in the end, which is great because you got the two animatronic sharks, one that looks normal and then goes back in the water, and one that comes out as a charred corpse, which is really fun. So that incorporated the whole Jaws area with the whole Amityville. It's just Amity Village, I think it is. It's not Amityville, it's just Amity. The town of Amity. They've recreated it, which is so bizarre because I remember going there last time being like, this is Amityville, like as in like from the movies, but I was wrong. I was thinking Amityville Horror, but it was just Jaws. Because you forget that Jaws was such a big thing. They haven't made a Jaws movie since the fourth one, so to think of it as a roller coaster park seems a bit bizarre. But you can get a photo in front of the giant shark, which is inaccurate to the movie, because in the movie that wasn't the actual shark. But it makes for a good posing thing. I got a picture of a guy feeding his baby to the shark, which was funny. We didn't bother to line up because you also have to pay for the photos. I'm just like, I don't really care for that. And then by around 6 o'clock, we went to Super Nintendo World. And because we knew that you had to book tickets for it, or at least I didn't. Helene did. And even though I paid for the tickets and booked them in advance for Universal, she booked the tickets for Nintendo World. And they have a window where like, oh, you have the window of this hour to that hour. So we had a 5 to 6 o'clock window to get there. But we were rushing a bunch of rides and doing, the Jaws ride and whatever. And right after the Jaws ride, we went straight to Nintendo Land. And again, you download the app. It makes it really easy to find your way around, to check off what rides you want to go on, what the wait times are like and everything. And when we got in there, huge queue to get in there. But because we had our QR code showing that we could get in, once we got to the checkout, the guy scanned us, we were right in, easy peasy. Then there was a lot less of a queue. And it was incredible. Because we went at nighttime for that section, it was dark and everything was lit up and it looked incredible. The amount of effort they've put into this place, from the opening where you get the big portal in the shape of a pipe, obviously, because it's Mario. Got to walk right into there, and there's so much to begin with. You walk out of Peach's castle, there's a way downstairs, you look across, there's Bowser's castle over there, you've got some restaurants down below, you've got over to your right is the Yoshi place. If you go downstairs and go to the right, you'll get to the Donkey Kong area. There's not a lot of rides there. There's a Mario Kart ride in the Bowser section, which is really cool. The production design of how they built the place looked incredible. The ride itself was okay. You're mostly like shooting shells at characters and stuff, pretending that you're in a go-kart. But it's like a kind of VR headset put on your head, but it's just kind of projecting stuff into it. I was more interested by the places around it because the whole thing was set up like you were in Bowser's castle, and it looked incredible. Again, couldn't film anything in the rides. Like Universal were very strict about that, and I hadn't bothered grabbing the GoPro out, so I didn't bother filming any of that outside of what I filmed on my camcorder. But I actually much preferred what they had in the ride that wasn't interactive, because it was just cool to look at, just life-size things from the Mario games. So that was fun. There was the Yoshi ride as well, where you just sit in an egg and just look characters from the games, and that's about it. Like it's a cute little kiddie ride. The big impressive ride, which we didn't go on, was the Donkey Kong ride. That one was like a 3-hour lineup or something. We didn't bother. It's apparently quite an intense ride, and I've seen the videos of it. It looks incredible. But I was like, I can live without that. Like, you don't see Donkey Kong until the very end of the ride. But aside from that, I'm good, There were people dressed up, obviously, like the characters. Toad, we got some photos of, I think, but not photos with. Mario and Luigi were there for 5 minutes, so was Peach. But I didn't see them after that. That was all the dressed up characters. We went to the Toad area, where, we went to the shop as well and bought some stuff, a little mystery box and a keychain and whatnot. But yes, I got some footage of Toad. But we went to the Toad's little restaurant thing, which was really cute. Um, we got to have a burger. They had a bunch of, it was like a Toad's house, and they had all these windows just showing footage from like basically Toad's little village and whatever, and they all interacted, all the windows all the way around, which was nice. The burgers came with a little Mario hat staked in, so you could keep the hat. Um, yeah, the whole VR thing. The shop, which had the Mario Kart stuff, was had a big Mario in the air on his little kite, which was cute. Again, the setup stuff for like the shops. You look at them, even at Disneyland and Disney Sea. You look at how they've actually set up the place. A lot of people are just there to buy stuff, but if you look at how they've set it up and all the decorations and stuff, it's so well designed. So for so many of these, like you don't even notice half the time. But when you do, you're like, this stuff is incredible. They've put in so much time and effort into, probably money, of course, into bringing this stuff to life. And it looked just so good. The Donkey Kong Country part was really cool. We didn't get to see Kong come out and dance or anything. I don't know what time he was going to do that. But we had our meal. We went over there, grabbed a dessert, which was quite cute, like a wafer ice cream cup, which was nice. There was Yoshi's Snack Island, which was fun as well. We didn't go to it again, it was just buying food. They had a lot of the question mark squares where you could jump up, and they actually had a small area where you could hit it and it would make noises. I don't think I got a coin one because there were apparently wristbands you could get which had like Mario's logo or Luigi or whatever, and if you hit those, you get points, and then you could just do something with that. But I talked to Sam and Martha, my brother and his girlfriend, the other night about it because when they went, they had the same thing. There's like you pay like $30 for one of those wristbands, and someone had left one on the bin. We didn't grab it in the hand. We were like, oh, this isn't ours. We're not going to do that. Also, I didn't know what the hell they were. And it's just like a little game for kids, but there's no actual reward or anything. You just go around hitting the squares and hitting stuff with your little wristband. It's like, wow, I'm doing something. Still, it was alright, but the Kinopio's Cafe was really good. We would have bought a cake because my birthday was the next day, but we didn't. And it was cute to go on the Yoshi ride as well because you got to see so many of the other animatronic characters walking around, especially the characters from like the desert landscapes and areas and whatever. So that was really fun. Peach's Castle looked really nice. There's just a lot of great interactive stuff. They had some of the Nintendo characters walking around or hidden in places like the Pikmins were just hidden around the place, which was cute. And yeah, then by 8:30 we went back outside to the main area to witness the parade where they had dressed up as evil clowns going around with chainsaws or just trying to scare you, whatever. I was hoping for a theme that was more Universal, like movies. It wasn't. It was just clowns, zombie clowns, and clowns with chainsaws. Zombies with chainsaws, yeah. Because it was the clown part, and then we went to another part where there was zombies, and then some of those zombies had chainsaws, and then eventually some kind of narrative kicked in where the zombies would run around dancing. So they had just dance numbers where they would just break dance in front of you, just in these zombie costumes. But it was fun. Like, we were only there. We only got to experience that for about 30 odd minutes, and by the time it was done, everyone was like, all right, time to leave, because it was 9 o'clock. So yeah, we went out, saw the Universal logo all lit up with its water fountain and whatnot, and yeah, then we went for a city walk. It lit up at night. It's really nice with all the neon lights and everything, so that was really cool. And that was the Universal day. We just got the train back to our hotel because it was that easy. Yeah, again, because I was feeling quite yucky for a lot of the day, for the first half of the day, it wasn't as enjoyable to me, but I'm also like, I've been here before, I don't care as much, I just want to still go on some of the rides, and if worse comes to worse, Helene goes on the rides by herself, but it was the only ride she went on by herself was just that Jurassic Park ride. Everything else we were able to book in to go to the Chucky maze, and go to the zombie maze, and go to the her on the flying dinosaur one, then go on the Jurassic Park, animatronic tour, which was really fucking cool. The Jaws ride, and then the 2 ones at Nintendo. And yeah, it was a fun experience for the whole day. Again, the weather was really nice. It got a bit chilly by nighttime because it was night. But yeah, just put on my raincoat, which is my Twin Peaks fucking Fire Walk With Me jacket from Rocking Fulton, which I thank God I brought that on the trip, because during the humid times, bad, but when it was rainy, it was perfect. But yeah, so that was really good. It was a nice day overall and a good Thursday. So yeah, I definitely would recommend Universal Studios if you haven't been. You could stay nearby, but you could just stay in the city, stay in Osaka. Again, we're Kashibi, so it was like a 20-minute train ride to get there. It was really easy. And this is my second time going. They had removed some rides outside of some new dance functions and stuff that were happening. The Spider-Man ride that I went on last time was gone. A lot of that area was being completely refurbished, which was disappointing. There was definitely some new additions, which looked great. Again, the Nintendo World looked incredible. But yeah, there's a lot of I would say, non-permanent stuff had gone. I don't know. Again, the Chucky maze was there, and that might have just been for horror time, same as the zombie maze. And that was, again, the zombie maze was great. It was all in Japanese, but it was like, oh, the narrative is that they created zombies and now they've broken loose and you have to go through this maze, which it's not really a maze, but it's all a single pathway thing. You're not going to miss anything if you go left or right because it's one pathway. People dressed up in costumes chasing after you and stuff and trying to scare you, and it was great. They had some great animatronics there for some of the zombies. Even like the final room has the woman who like created the zombies, and she turns into a zombie, and then like the lights go out after everyone clicks a button or just a couple, and her head explodes. So they had a great way of interacting with the audience, and then you just got the hell out of there. So despite how I was feeling for a lot of the day, I still really enjoyed it. So yeah. Anyway, that was Universal. Tomorrow is my birthday, so the Friday. I'll see you then. Adios.